Welcome to the FireCapture tutorial. Today I'd like to show you the main parts of the user interface. When you start FireCapture the first time, it comes with a two-window setup. So the left window here is the control panel, the right window here is the preview window. So there are a lot of options regarding layout in FireCapture, and I'd just like to give you some more details on how to change the layout here. So to change the layout in FireCapture, just open the layout settings. So you can click here directly on the layout settings button, or you can click any other button here and it opens the settings, and just go to system and layout. So you find all the settings regarding the layout. So first you can pick night mode on or off. If you turn it off, we will have some more look and feels available here. You can choose some different look and feel. So if you pick night mode on, you can change the night mode color. So you can click on that change color button and it opens the color chooser. You just pick a color you like and press OK, so it changes the color. So down here there is the options for the task panel. So on the left control window you see some panels over here, and you can just, some of them are optional, so you can just pick them or disable them if you don't like or don't need them. So just for instance, if you don't like temperature and pre-processing stuff, just deselect it and it's disappeared. So next time you start FireCapture you won't see them. So I will turn this on again. If you collapse, you can also just show you, if you collapse those panels, this will also remember next time you start FireCapture. So that's also interesting to know. Okay, back to the layout settings here. There are some more stuff here below. So there was a toolbar content. So there are two toolbars available in the preview window. That is the vertical toolbar over here and the horizontal toolbar over here. So you can change the content of the toolbars here. So on the left panel you see I just added the start, stop, pause capture. So you can just add more stuff if you like, some zoom presets or some crop video zoom up. Just select them from the list, press OK, and they will be added to the toolbar here. That is handy if you would just like to customize your just the options and controls you would like to have in the toolbar. So that's the same over here for the horizontal toolbar. You can just add some more stuff here, and it will be added to the toolbar. Okay, there are some more options regarding the layout. It will be how FireCapture will be displayed. So by default it's a two-window setup, but you can just change this here with some of these two options here. So for instance, you can switch to a toggle main window mode. So I'd like to just show you. So if you turn on this toggle main window and mouse roll over, and what you see now is that the control window disappeared. So you can enlarge your preview or maximize your preview, and whenever you need to change the control, or you need to control window again, just hover. There is a new button over left top in the corner over here, and if you hover over that button here on the left top corner, the control window will pop up again. So you can just change your settings, and whenever you move the mouse out of the control window, the control window will disappear, will be hidden, and you have the preview window again. So that's handy if you would like to have a mode where you have the preview window maximized. So just hover over the button, change your control, and go back, and it's disappeared. So I'm just to disable this again. So okay, now back to the control window. I'm just changing the size a bit. Okay, there is another mode here, which is a single window mode. So if you don't like to have the two windows here, you can switch to a single window mode. So just click on that mode button, and you see this toggle main window is not available now, but you need to restart FireCapture with this. So just gonna do this. So just Starting FireCapture again. So now you see I'm in a single window mode. So there is one single window and the control panel is just part of that window on the left side. So that's interesting to know that you have options in the way you change the layout here. Okay, I'd like to go ahead with explaining some of these control panels over here. Okay, the topmost is image. There we can control the camera video mode, and it's 16-bit video mode, or you can change the image size read out from the camera. So that is controlled here with that button over here. ROI just means the region of interest. That is just simple means reading out a portion of the camera sensor. So you can either pick max or you can change ROE, and you can pick any image size you'd like to have. So that doesn't work in dummy cam mode, but you can, if you have a camera, you can select arbitrary sub image you want to read out. So you can also have, just to do this, just insert the number here and click on that set ROE button. You can also pick some default ROEs here from the list, and whenever you insert a new ROE, it will be stored as a custom ROE here in that panel over here. So you can pick sizes you have chosen in the past from that panel here. You can also clear those custom ROIs. So just click on that button and you're done. You can also change the image size by dragging the mouse in the preview window. So just click on the mouse, drag a rectangle you'd like to have, and set the new image size. And that in the normal camera mode, it would be now the ROE would now be set. Okay. Next panel over here is the control panel with all the camera controls available. So gain, exposure is the two most important controls. So they are always on here by default. And there are maybe more controls. That depends on the camera model you have. So typically you have a gamma control over here, and all the additional camera controls available for your camera under the more button here. So that really depends on the camera you're using. So you will find some more stuff here. Usually for color cameras, you also find the white balance controls over here. For point gray cameras, also some more special video modes and stuff like that. From on the third control over here, you can change. It's by default gamma, but you can choose any of the controls that are available under the additional controls here. So you just, let's say I want to have a software gain here. So I now have the software gain control over here, and next time I start FireCapture, it will remember this. So you have this control over here. So you can just pick one of these additional controls you need most, and you have the other list in the control panel. Okay, there are some more stuff over under the more control button. So there are some options to store restore your camera settings. So you have an option to back up your camera settings, which means all the settings you have over the various profiles will be stored in a settings file. So next time if you screwed up some of the controls, you can simply restore them, and so we have back to the controls you need here. You can also save. So if you have some special settings, if you did some special settings and you'd like to store those, just click on the save camera settings here, and it picks up a file folder which is default the FireCapture folder, and you can set some select the file name and store those controls here, and you can load them back either via that load camera settings dialog, but you can also pick open Windows Explorer over here, and just where it is, Okay, dummy. Here we have the settings file we just stored, so you can also drag and drop them to the FireCapture window and it can load them back. So that's handy if you want to play a little bit with different settings and you want to load them back. Okay, there are two more control. There are another control here, which is exposure range. So depending on the camera, you have a different range of your exposure. So FireCapture splits this full exposure range into single exposure ranges. So you just need to pick the proper exposure range depending on your target and lighting conditions. So the next panel over here is the capture panel. You will find all the controls you need to regarding your recordings, you start your captures. So there is a profile and filter profiles with the available profiles you have. You can edit new profiles and same on filters. There is a bunch of filters that comes with FireCapture, but you can also add new filters, whatever you like. So you just need to edit the filter action here and it brings you to the filter settings, or you can add new filters wherever you like. Okay, there is another control here is limit, so you can limit your recordings depending on second, minute, frame size, the file type of your recording, and the control over here is just it's the file name of your capture. Typically FireCapture does an automatic file naming on your recordings, so it will there is a time name pattern over here, so it will just replace the time with the starting time of your recording when you press the start button. So when I start capture, you see now it changed the time here, inserted the time of the recording. So you also can manually insert any file name you like, but I recommend using the automatic time stamping, automatic file naming here. The button here was the capture tools and settings button, so you can simply open the capture, set the capture folder, open capture folder. If you did a capture, you can quick delete the latest capture file. So if you screw things up and you don't like to have the recording, just click on the delete button and it's clear. Those set folder and open folder, it's the same as available in the control and in the toolbar here. So it either sets the capture folder or it opens the capture folder with the latest recordings you did here. Just deleted the file, so the folder is empty. Okay, that's all for capture. The next panel is the status panel. It just displays some numbers regarding the current frame rate. So it's the FPS you see here. It's a max and current. Max is simply the theoretical max frame rate you would get from based on the exposure you use. So if I go to 1 millisecond exposure, you see it would be 1000 frames per second. So that's just it's just an information of what would be theoretically possible with a given exposure. On the right side here, you see the current frame rate the camera is delivering. So that may be a lot of lower than the max frame rate, because it simply depends on the camera, it depends on an image size I want and your system performance and whatever. The next entry here is captured and saved. So when you start capture, it will display the number of frames that are captured, and saved means that are already saved on disk. So usually if your hard disk is fast enough, you won't see a big difference. So, but there may be, depending on your machine, there may be occasions where the captured frame rate lags behind the saved one. So that typically we would see that the RAM will go down. So that means that FireCapture will be store memory store frames for capture in memory. So you just need to take care that you don't run out of memory in that case. Okay, next one here is, as explained, the current free memory FireCapture has, and the right progress bar here is the hard disk, free hard disk space. So FireCapture will automatically stop capture if you run out of hard disk space. Okay, next one is histogram. So it just displays a histogram here. There are some more options regarding the histogram. This option over here in the toolbar is the histogram. So by default it should be disabled. It should be enabled. There are some more options for histogram. You can jump to the histogram settings just by clicking that small triangle over here and click on options. So it will bring you to the histogram settings. There is also an option to show the histogram in the preview window. So if you click on that, you will see the histogram will be displayed in the preview window as well. And there were some more options, so showing the histogram when capture stops and hide it when capture starts, so your preview window doesn't get disturbed with the histogram. And yeah, there were some other histogram display styles. Default is logarithmic scale over here, but you can also use a bar display. And yeah, some more the calculation rate, how often the histogram is displayed. And there is another option here is that show Emil Kreikam noise estimator. Though if you turn this on, there will be shown an additional number in the histogram. So this is based on some research Emil did regarding if it's worth to switching to 16-bit mode or not. So this is just a help, an indicator of it. If the noise level you currently have is low enough that it would be a benefit to turn on and switch to 16-bit mode. So that typically depends on the gain level, and whenever you see that the noise level below 2, turns red here, and this means it's an indication that you would have a benefit to turn on 16-bit mode. So if that, typically for planetary imaging, this is much higher, this noise level, so you won't have a benefit of using 16-bit. So 16-bit would just be a waste of system resources in that case. So this noise indicator here is just a help on how to figure out how it's just an help to give you, in order to indicate if it's 16-bit, it's worth. Okay, turn it off again. Okay, that's all for histogram. If you have a color camera and you turn on the debayering, you will just see the color histogram to every color channel over here in the histogram. Okay, one more control over here is the options. There were a lot of options here. Most of them are currently available although as controls in the toolbar panel, so you can add most of them into the toolbars, and you can just collapse the options, so it's a little bit more. It's more handy to have them in the control in the toolbar than in the options over here, so you don't need to move around with the mouse every time. I don't need to explain every option here. Maybe I will do this in a later tutorial. So there is another option, temperature. That's only available if your camera supports temperature readout. So it just plots the current sensor temperature in the display here. And you have some more options here for temperature. You can display Celsius or Fahrenheit, and you also have an option to create a temperature log file when you exit FireCapture. So if you turn on this, it will create a comma separated value files on exit with all the temperature values in it. maybe useful if you like to see how the temperature graph was over the time. Okay, here you see the next one is the settings panel. There are six different settings buttons. It's basically just a shortcut for the related setting panel over here. So you can select them over here directly in the settings panel, but it just saves you one more click. So you can change the settings over here. So if you'd like to have your, for instance, your focus or telescope setting over here, you can change it, and it will bring you directly to the telescope settings here. And when you restart FireCapture, it will remember this. So so you can just configure some settings you need most, and it just brings you as fast as possible to the settings dialog. So the last option here is pre-processing. You can do some pre-processing stuff in FireCapture, which means it will be applied before the frame is captured. So for instance, you can change some contrast here, and you can also stack frames. So it means that now you have a 5 frame stack, so it will stack 5 frames. So when you start capture, it will only capture the stacked frames. So if your display is a little dim, you can try this. And there is some more stuff like a bright object filter, though it will capture only frames that are exceeding a given pixel threshold. So there's a lot of stuff. It also depends if you have a color camera or not, some of them, and yeah, I will probably cover this in more detail in a later tutorial. Okay, so we are done with the control panel over here. So just let's go on the right side with the preview window. So as explained, there are a vertical toolbar, a horizontal toolbar you can configure in the layout, and there are 2 more buttons over here. The left button here is the display preview rate, so you can change that display preview frame rate. So by default it's max, but you can also go to a lower frame rate if your system, if you have a little bit of lower machine, this may save you some more of your CPU resources. So you just select the one you like here. The button right beneath is the zoom button, so you can change the zoom here to preview, and you also have some preset zoom values over here, and you can, when you change the preview, you can store the current zoom level as a preset. So let's say I'd like to have this as my preset 1. So you see preset 1 is now at 145%. So you can just set up different zoom values. It's handy, for instance, if you're going to focusing, you typically like to have a little bit a higher preview, so you see some more details, and it's a little bit more handy when on focusing. So you can just set up some different preset zoom values and can select them quickly. So you can either select them here under that button, or you can also add them here to whatever toolbar you like. So let's just like say I'd like to add 2 more settings. So you can just add them here in the toolbar, and if you click that here, it will be change the zoom to the desired level. So it's the same that would apply here over on that button. Okay, that's all, I guess, for this tutorial regarding the user interface and layout. And yeah, as always, hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye.